Aloha, shining ones! Instagram is telling people that I'm going live. Yay! Aloha, welcome Gypsy Galaxy. Hi, Emin Bell. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hello, Lucid Light. Hi, Adam. Hi, Norton. Hello, Harmonic Earth. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Daniel. Aloha. Hi, India. Oh, yay. So fun. We get to hang out. Hi, Sunshine Drifter. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the hearts, loves. So happy to hang out with you. Okay. So, I figured that since the moon is about to be trine in like exactly an hour, the moon is about to be exactly trine Mercury retrograde, that I would talk about something that I've talked about before, which Mercury retrograde. And so this little class that we're going to do here is about how to take care of yourself based on your moon sign. And really, this is a lot about, we all need to take care of ourselves so much right now. And so your moon sign gives you some clues, and as well as other things in your chart too, give you some clues as to what's the best way that you can take care of yourself. And this is the fun part too, when you know other people's moon sign, then you can help to take care of them in the way that will be the most nourishing and nurturing for them. So yeah, so glad you need this, Daniel. Yes, we all need to take such good care of each other right now. So my Leo moon is like, what is going on? A little hair sculpture here. I'm noticing this as I'm talking, and I think it's funny, so we'll leave it. So always in service, always in service. Okay, so if you don't know your moon sign, you can find out very easily. You can go to astro.com and you can get your chart for free. You just put in your birth. Okay, let me make sure my phone is on do not disturb. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah. I think that was an alarm for me to eat my dinner. Because I have a tendency to just work. So I'm supposed to, but I already had a snack, so I'm well taken care of, but I don't know if that alarm is gonna go off again. Okay, so Scorpio moon. So why don't you guys go ahead and type in your moon sign? Hey, Heather. Why don't you type in your moon sign so that everybody knows who's here? Libra moon. Pisces moon. Oh, the moon is in your sign right now. The moon is in Pisces right now. So that's the other reason why we're talking about this right now. So it's like super windy. I hope you can still hear me. So the moon is in Pisces. The sun is in Cancer. Mercury retrograde is in Cancer. So everybody's like feeling things. Are you feeling things, Lucid Light, Cancer moon? There's Aquarius, Taurus, Capricorn moon, Scorpio moon, born on a full moon. You think Pisces. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to go through the signs. You're feeling it. I know. Everybody's feeling everything so much right now. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this right now. Okay. So we're just going to go through the signs, and so really also take note for your own moon sign, and also you can come back and watch this later. I'm gonna put this on my Insta TV under my astrology series, and you can come back and you can watch this later if you learn the moon sign of people in your family, or if you already know the moon sign of people in your family. So all of the moon signs, all of the signs in general have a shadow and an illumination. So they can manifest in their shadow aspect, which is some of the maybe not so pleasant attributes, and then it can manifest in its illumination, which are the more like more positive. I don't think it's positive, but more beneficial aspects. So, aloha. So, all right. So, if you are or you know an Aries moon, so this is also how you can tell if someone is. This is how you can tell maybe what their moon sign is and how you might be able to support them, or how you can ask for support yourself. And I'll also say too that the moon sign, you want to be sure that you're not confusing the moon sign with the rising sign, but the rising sign can also, like, the signs always just need whatever they need. But the rising sign, someone might show you their rising sign if you don't know them as well, because we show our rising sign when we first meet people or when we feel uncomfortable. And then you show your moon sign more when you are with people that you know. So when you're listening to these different descriptions and you're thinking about other people in your life, probably think about people who you are closer to. Probably think about people who you are closer to, because they are more likely to be showing you their moon signs, compared to if you don't know them very well, then they're probably going to be showing you their rising signs. So Aries, in order for an Aries moon to feel comfortable, to feel safe, because the moon sign is also, it's what makes us feel safe, it's what makes us feel comfortable, and it's also how we can best nourish and take care of ourselves. So fire signs in general, Aries being the first, fire signs in general, they have a tendency to process emotions really quickly. So they can be these people, or you might be one of these people who can be really fired up straight away and get really angry or really sad, or just the emotions are really available, but they move through really quickly. And so that's just something to know, elementally, where it's kind of if you or someone your partner, or someone in your home has a fire moon, and someone else has a water moon or an earth moon, like in Cancer, or Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces would be all of the water sign moons. Hey, Lizzie. And then those would be all the water sign moons, and the earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. So, and then we're talking about fire signs, if you are a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius fire moon, and you're working with somebody else who has a water moon or an air or a earth moon, you might move through that. You might feel the emotions very intensely, and you could even blow up at them. But you feel the emotions very intensely, and then it's kind of it burns up inside of you. And so then if you're in an argument with someone who is a water moon or an earth moon, and then they come back and they're like, hey, I've had a chance to think about this, and I want to talk about this, and or I'm still feeling this, then sometimes for the fire moon, you can be kind of oh, right, okay, let me get back into that. So it's just good to know, so kind of generally fire signs need to move physically, right? That's movement, action, needs to move the body in order to process emotions. Air signs generally like to talk it out. And then water signs just need to feel it. They need to be with it so they can feel it. And then earth signs sometimes need to journal it out. So this is just a basic overview. And I'll also say that it's this is why, I teach Astro Empowerment, and it's good to know your own chart, because if you are a fire you have a Leo moon or you have a Aries moon, but their Saturn is conjunct or opposite or squaring, if there's a tense angle from Saturn to your moon, it's not going to manifest in this kind of fiery way that I'm talking about. This is for like general straight fire, not straight, but general unaspected in a tense kind of way, fire moons in this example. So just to know that it's kind of like, and so also too, it's like if you have a fire moon, we're talking about Aries moon, if you have an Aries moon and Saturn is right there with it in some way, then you might actually feel more like a mix between like a Capricorn moon and an Aries moon, because Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn. So it's important to know your moon sign, but then it's also important to know what else is going on in your chart. Or if Saturn is transiting, if Saturn in the sky is transiting on top of your moon sign, then you're gonna have a more contracted, dense kind of emotional experience. So that would be right now for anybody who's a Capricorn moon that's later in Capricorn would be having that experience right now. So all of this is just to preface saying that the information that I'm sharing here is very general, and it's important for you to be able to know your own chart so that you know all of the ins and outs of everything that's going on there. Okay. So someone was saying, oh, you're literally explaining what I've observed the last 3 days with three. That alarm is not going to go off anymore. Okay, so Aries moon. In general, Aries moon needs to move the energy. And so it's like they need to physically move their body. Moving the body will really help. So these are people who it's like, they need to work out in order to like process their emotions. And that working out in general, being active, taking action, initiating, it's not just working out. It can be, initiating something, or starting a project, or taking the first step to they're like, okay, we need to make a change, so let's make a change. We need that to happen. So they're really this initiating energy in order to be able to move their emotions. And so then, if their Aries moon feels unacknowledged or they're feeling stressed, it can manifest as anger. It can manifest as just picking a fight. It's kind of like my teacher says that like Aries moon is just sometimes they don't care if they're right or wrong. It's just like they just want like something to happen. Like, let's just have a fight so like I can feel something. So if you're any of the signs I describe, I didn't see any Aries moons tuning in, but let's see if there's a resonance, or if you can teach us what your experience is. So if you know somebody, or you have an Aries moon, make sure to really like have a movement practice to support yourself. Make sure to invite other people. If you know somebody who has an Aries moon and you're seeing those more shadow aspects of kind of like starting fights, or wanting to get irritated about something, and you're like, let's go for a walk, like let's go for a walk on the beach, let's go move. And so that can be helpful as well. So then if you're a Taurus moon, so Taurus is really all about like sensual, like the senses and feeling things. So really Taurus moon is like, wants to have really good food, get a massage, essential oils, candlelight, anything that's like, soft fabrics and things like that. So really that like sensory experience. So, and then when they're manifesting in their shadow, it can be kind of like feeling stubborn, feeling resistant to change, really kind of like, retreating and not wanting to budge on different things. And again, this is like super general. So I also know that like Mars is square to Mercury right now. So I'm like, I know, and Mercury's retrograde. So I know there's this kind of possibility for things to get misinterpreted. So I'm trying to do my best to navigate all that as well. Okay, so then if you want to support, or you need support as a Taurus moon, or you want to support a Taurus moon, then it's like, yeah, let's cook dinner together. Like, let's, let me give you a massage. Oh, Heather says the sensuality part is spot on, right? It's like, let me give you a back rub and we can talk about it. Or you can tell me, let me give you a back rub and you can tell me how you feel. That's more like it. So yeah, or it's like, like if that's your partner, then it's like, let me draw a bath for you, and it has rose petals and essential oils or something like that. So really, like, attending to the Taurus moon really loves to have the senses attended to. Okay, so then again, this is super general, and this is a remix of a Insta Live that I did back in December that was much more in depth. So I recommend to watch that. This is also part of a series. I'm making all of these different little astrology videos. I think this is the 10th astrology video that I'm making. So free astrology training on my Insta TV to support you. Okay, so if you or someone you know has a Gemini moon, Gemini loves to talk. And so if you don't know your chart, then you can go to astro.com to find out your astrological information. So if you're a Gemini moon, or you know someone who has a Gemini moons love to talk it out. So this is a person where it's like, hey, let's have a conversation. Tell me about how you're feeling. And yeah, just having that opportunity to talk it out, that'll be the most supportive thing that you can ask for as a Gemini moon, or you can offer to people in your life who have a Gemini moon. And so in its shadow, when the Gemini moon manifests in its shadow, it really is in the head, like mentalizing everything, like, having an argument with someone and really kind of getting caught up in semantics, or like wanting to like intellectualize emotions. So that can be a sign where it's like, okay, well, let's talk it out. And it's really just moving the air, or like doing a breath work exercise. That can be a big thing too, that's helpful for all air signs. But so working with the elements and really moving the breath. So that can be super helpful. Okay, so Cancer is next. So Cancer moon's feeling, right? And then this sense of nurturing. So Cancer moon, that, like, the way that you can support people in your life who have a Cancer moon is to ask them how they feel. Like, tell me how you feel. Or it can be even making art. That can also be. Because it's like anytime that you're in like a flow state, that's like a water element expression. So, and again, like, I feel like Cancer is also similar to Taurus, where it's like that nurturing kind of energy. So cooking a meal, bringing a soft blanket, like whatever it is that's going to make that person feel nurtured and supported. So in its shadow, Cancer moon can manifest as kind of like needy, or feeling kind of abandonment issues. So that's how if that's someone in your life who has a Cancer moon, that's the way that you can support them, is to bring in that moon energy. It could even be like, let's go for a walk on the beach if you live near a beach, because Cancer is the sign of the crab, and the crab lives along the shoreline. So walking along the shoreline can also be a nurturing thing for Cancer moon people. So then we have Leo moon. So Leo energy is the energy of the child, very playful, very creative. So in order to support Leo moon, it's really like inviting in that sense of play, or inviting that sense of creativity, where it's like you could, and it's also the sense of like, Leo is ruled by the sun, and so it's the center of the solar system, and so it's also this energy of you know, wanting to be in the spotlight, the center of attention. And so so Leo moon is like, ask them about themselves, ask them to tell you about themselves, and or asking them to make art. You know, let's make something together. Leo moon here. So Leo moon, what is it that you notice that when you do for yourself or when other people do for you that helps you feel really supported and just kind of like makes you come alive? It makes you feel like that playful, childlike energy of yourself that makes you feel really safe. So let us know from the inside, reporting from the inside. So in its shadow, Leo can be dramatic. So this is like the drama queens, or kings. Love quality time with people. Yeah. So not the center of attention though, right? So that can be many other things that can be in your chart that could be causing that to not manifest as like straight Leo moon energy. So or pure Leo energy moon. You like to create art sometimes. Yeah, and right. Yeah, totally. Okay, so really it's like being in the drama, being in the shadow. And yeah, I've even seen a person in my life where it's like you know, it's like she's not giving herself the opportunity to be seen, to be the center of attention. It's kind of like, so this is also, it's like, and I think I talk about this more in the moon signs and mental health video, but it really is that it's kind of like you have to take care of yourself too. And so whatever your moon sign is, that it's like you have to do these things for yourself as far as like taking care of yourself. It's not always just asking other people to do these things for you or hoping that they do these things for you. So it's like if you're at Aries moon, then like move your body. You know, if you feel stuck energy, if you feel angry, like move your body. I had a boyfriend who was an Aries moon, and one of his prescriptions from his coach was to jump in the ocean and like scream and punch and get all the anger out. And that was really helpful. So, so this is the thing, like you have to do these things for yourself too. So, right, then if you're a Taurus moon and like, you know, you're feeling sad, it's like make yourself a bath, like cook really good food for yourself, you know, like book a massage, like, you know, get the massage tools going here. So really take good care of yourself. And then yeah, if you are a Gemini moon, then it's like, yeah, find somebody that you can talk about things with, or you know, do breathwork exercises or different things like that. And if you're Cancer moon, like yeah, like taking a bath, crying, allowing yourself to cry, just feeling everything really and nurturing yourself. Okay, and then Leo, it's like putting yourself in the spotlight, like be the center of attention, be creative. That is always nourishing to your Leo moon. So if you don't do that, then it can manifest as the drama aspect or whatever the shadow aspect is of your moon sign. Okay, so then going on to Virgo moons. So Virgo moon in its illumination is someone who is very organized, very practical, very down to earth. It's like in their illumination, this is really also like my mom is a Virgo moon, and so her therapy is gardening. So organizing the plants, right? Because Virgo is an earth sign, but it's ruled by Gemini, right? So there's a mind piece to it. So it's organizing the plants. Makes her feel really, that's like her therapy, makes her feel really good. And so it's not always just that. That's one example. But so then if a Virgo moon is manifesting in its shadow, then that can manifest as being critical. That's oftentimes what Virgo moon is connected with, is being critical of themselves, being critical of other people, being judgmental, wanting things to be perfect and like redoing it and redoing it and redoing it and redoing it until in this like, you know, elusive search for perfection. So really it is grounding it in. I always say for earth sign people that it's like writing, journaling is really helpful to take care of yourself, and organizing anything really. Like, you know, Virgo has this incredibly amazing incredibly amazing ability to like see the patterns in everything. That's why they're so good for like, about organizing everything, stereotypically. And so, organizing the home, organizing the garden, all of those things can be super helpful for Virgo moons. So you said Norton says your partner's a Virgo moon and it's spot on. He just got home. I know. I had a boyfriend who was a Virgo moon too, and like when he would mow the yard, it was so much better when he would mow the yard. Okay, so then if you're a Libra moon, okay, so Libra is an air sign ruled by Venus, and so Libra really likes this it has this energy of like balancing and wanting there to be harmony. So I think anything that's going to be balancing things. It's not traditionally talked about this like in this way, but I feel like that something that can be super beneficial for Libra is like feng shui, like really finding the balance and the harmony of like just arranging something just so. So yeah, Mercedes, like, so tell us what your experience of being a Libra moon is. Hi, Gila. And so also too, it's really like talking about relationships. That's a big thing for Libra moons, is really asking them to talk air sign about their relationships, which is a Venus attribute. I'm like thinking of all these people that I've dated, and I totally dated this guy who his Mercury was in Libra, and he like just wanted to talk about relationships. We're so funny. So in its shadow, Libra can manifest as being kind of aloof, and kind of standoffish. And so really it is like, it is inviting them to engage, inviting them to talk about relationships, or to speak about things that make them feel balance and harmony. Mercedes says, yes, art and yoga. Yeah. Okay. So if you're Scorpio moon, now, so Scorpio is water sign ruled by Pluto. So I'm like, Scorpio moons, like, talk about the secrets, talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about, and burn shit. So, because that transformational energy of Pluto is so powerful for Scorpio moons. So, right, but it's like really like inviting them. Oh, they have to feel safe first of all. And my teacher says never ever lie to a Scorpio moon. They can sense it because they just sense straight down into the depths of things, and they will never forgive you if you lie to them. So water signs, asking them how they feel, and really Scorpio is about the really like deep part. So they want to like talk all about the innermost intimate dynamics of whatever is going on. Husband and I and one kid all have air signs, Moon, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Our kids are all water Pisces. Yeah. So I hope some of this is helpful. So Scorpio in its shadow manifests as this, the scorpion, right? Like that sense of like betrayal, like I'm closing off, right? And the pincher's tail come over, closing off, really withdrawing, being moody, and not moody is not quite the right word, but really kind of like deepening into themselves. And so it's a delicate dance to be able to really like invite that sense of intimacy and to invite them to share about how they're feeling. But really it is that kind of like that need for depth, and really like eye contact, right? Like penetrating eye contact is very helpful for Scorpio moons. Okay, so then Sagittarius moons, And so I'll say also too, this is also like all of these things you can do for yourself. So if you're a Scorpio moon, it really is allowing, maybe it's like going to like depth therapy. Maybe you have like a depth psychologist that you work with, or it's like really allowing yourself to experience the intensity of your emotions, because it's kind of like when you go down into the depths, then you'll be able to transmute those powerful emotions more clearly, more cleanly, and more completely than if you avoid going down into those. So that's how Scorpio moons can take care of themselves as well right now. So if you have a Sagittarius moon, so one of the prescriptions for Sagittarius moon is to go on an adventure, right? That's how you can really take good care of yourself. Or even if that's not an adventure, physically, go on an adventure in your mind. So maybe that's like diving into an audiobook about something that you've never learned about before, and just like going through it, like committing to the adventure of it. I'm trying to think. I think my secondary progress. No. It's actually in Capricorn now. So anyway, astrology prattle. So again, Sagittarius moons are fire signs. So these are people who can transmute energy really quickly. But a lot of times it's really like, if you have a Sagittarius moon, again, really taking time to give yourself expansive experiences. Even yoga is something that can be super helpful, because you're like stretching your body and expanding your body, or learning about something new, learning a new language, going on an adventure. It's like whatever way, whether it's through your emotions or through your mind or through your physical body, like expanding, bringing in this sense of expansion is really how you as a Sagittarius moon, or if you know someone who has a Sagittarius moon, you can help to take care of them. And they can take care of themselves. And so then if you have a Capricorn moon, this is really about managing. So Capricorn energy, again, this is cardinal air sign, and it's the sign of the goat. And so this is like, stamina, endurance. And so one of the traits of Capricorn moon is that they handle things. So it's like my teacher says that it's like whenever the shit is going down, you want to know a friend who is a Capricorn moon, because they will manage it. They're not going to be emotional. They'll handle the things, unless they have some aspect that's not happening for them. But then he also says, like, you also want to know who your Scorpio moon friends are, because they're not going to be afraid to like burn everything down for you if that needs to happen. So, but Capricorn moon really thrives on structure, on boundaries, on having systems in place in order to manage different things. So it could even be that it's like, as a Capricorn moon, if you have that, or someone who does, it's giving yourself the opportunity to, or inviting them to, design structures and systems to organize themselves and their time in order to manage their energy better. So this could be like, setting timers for having different things happen in your day, or it could be having blocked out scheduling on your calendar. It can manifest in all different kinds of ways, but it's really designing whenever you feel emotionally kind of all over the place. Capricorn moon will really benefit from designing systems and structures, creating boundaries, in order to manage their energy better. I hope that makes sense. So then Aquarius moon. So Aquarius moon can be anything, right? So Aquarius moon is air sign ruled by Uranus. And so Uranus is kind of the wild card, right? So Aquarius moon is kind of the wild card. So this can be, it can be anything, right? So but it's also an air sign, so there is that sense of kind of like mental processing that can help. And so in its illumination, an Aquarius moon is very innovative, always finding new solutions for things, thinking up new inventions, or really like being for the cause, whatever the cause is, rallying behind the cause. And I'm seeing Tori here, and I'm like, it's like being that sacred rebel, right? And so, but really like allowing that innovative, mad scientist, rebel energy to come forward. That's a really healthy energy for Aquarius. In its shadow, it can manifest as like the rebel without a cause, and can just be kind of like erratic and changed, and being in like different things, trying different things, but not really finding very much success. So, or it can be that sense of alienation, right? So it's like that's also a shadow. Aquarius moon tendency is to be more feel alienated, to feel like I'm all alone and nobody understands me. So if you or someone is feeling like that and they have an Aquarius moon, then it's really inviting them to bring forward these ideas, like what can we do to change things? What could we invent? What can we do differently? Like, let's do something that we haven't ever done. Like, let's go to the trampoline park. So it's could be something really different. It could also be, like let's, if there's something that they really believe in, then it's really like, okay, let's get behind the cause. Yes, we already did Scorpio moon, so you'll have to watch the replay, Marina. Okay, and then Pisces moon. So Pisces in its illumination is feels everything. These are our dreamers, our visionaries, our seers, and all right, this is you, Daniel. Yes. So, and so in their shadow, it could be dissociation. It could be disconnection, addiction of any kind is a shadow Pisces energy or shadow Neptune energy. And so this is not necessarily like, addictive, anything like, with like, it doesn't have to manifest through substances or things like that, but it can just be like the desire to like space out and the desire to just like zone out. And so if you're a Pisces moon or someone who's a Pisces moon, a really good way to take care of yourself, again, like being in salt water, like salt bath, because Pisces is the multidimensional ocean of all that is. Giving yourself real opportunities to intentionally connect to the higher realms, intentionally give your time to just lay in the park and stare at the clouds. Or intentionally give yourself time to go to the ocean and just like stare at the water. That actually wasn't a bird, that was a gecko. They laugh at certain times, especially when it's sunset. But another way that Pisces can really take care of themselves, this is kind of similar to Leo too, is to make art. Or to channel, if you want to do automatic writing, if you want to just take your phone and on a walk and you want to just channel light language, just stream of consciousness coming out, that could also be beneficial. As a gecko. Dragons. Yeah, Daniel says you've been snorkeling for the last 3 days for hours. Yeah. So really it's like for all the signs, like knowing the element of your moon sign and knowing knowing more specifically, if you're a water sign, if it's Pisces or Scorpio or Cancer moon, and really knowing it's kind of like if you just look up characteristics. I just want to make it super simple for you guys. So if you just look up characteristics of whatever sign your moon sign is, and you look at all of those key words, it's kind of like getting a sense, of that. It's like it's like, and I imagine like if you're blind and you're like feeling something, or you're, you know, reading Braille, or it's like you're getting a sense of something, you know, you can't see it with your eyes, but you're touching it, you're smelling it, you're listening to it. There are all these different senses that are informing you. So whatever your moon sign is, so you can look at any description of that. You can like look up, you know, Capricorn attributes, Capricorn qualities, or Leo qualities, or whatever it is, and you can just look at those things, those attributes. Then those are going to be the things that are going to be things that you can remember and keep in your toolbox to resource whenever you're feeling down. And now there are other places in your chart as well that also give you clues as to how you can take care of yourself. If you're familiar with the asteroids, you can look for the asteroid Ceres. Ceres just went retrograde today, and this is her sign. That's what it looks like. A little hook on the top with a cross. So you can find her in your chart. If you're going to astro.com, you're going to want to add the asteroid goddesses onto there so that you'll be able to find the asteroids. They're not put on there by normal. So yeah, I hope that all of that was helpful. Again, this was just like a remix of another one that of another Insta live TV that's on my Insta TVs that I've done before. So if you liked this one, I would definitely recommend that you go and watch the moon signs and mental health video, because that went into a lot more detail. So let me see what kind of questions you guys have. The geckos are having fun. What if it's a Capricorn moon with a lot of air placements? I love to do lists and blocking off time for things. That's also a Capricorn energy, right? Like making to-do lists and blocking off time for things. Like that's super, like you're managing things. And it's not just your moon sign, you know, like, so I have Capricorn sun. And so it's like I have systems for everything, and that makes me feel really grounded. It makes me feel like if I have systems and structures in place, then I can like shine my light more fully into the world, because I know how I'm managing my energy. So yeah, if you have a Capricorn moon with lots of air placements, it would depend on where the air placements were, if they're next to your moon, or what else is going on. And Norin says, high fives to all of that. Pisces transmuting addictions and dissociating into intentional chill time. Yes. Channeling and love salt baths. Yes. Yeah, awesome. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. And I feel like I also did a lot. I have my blue lace agate here because Mercury is squared Mars today. This is helping my throat chakra and communication. I feel like I also taught a lot as far as teaching astrology. I feel like I also taught a lot in my Insta stories today. So we talked about why it's important for you to be able to read your own chart. And I shared an example today of Ceres. We just talked about her because she went retrograde today. And I was reading a horoscope from an app that I love, and it was talking about, like, you know, if you're Capricorn rising, then you're going to have Ceres retrograde in the 3rd house, and it was all of these attributes about that. But then I looked, and in the house system that I use, which is called Placidus, in the chart that I use for my birth chart, Ceres was not retrograde in my 3rd house. It was retrograde in my 2nd house, which feels totally, actually very accurate. That's really like what's up for me, because that's also Mars is going to go retrograde in my 4th house. So that feels more accurate than Ceres being retrograde in my 3rd house. So So there's a lot, what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of really good information in my Insta stories for you guys today. Lots of good information. Also, if you don't know, my 6-month astrology immersion, Astro Empowerment, is open for enrollment until tomorrow at 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I think that's a few different times in Australia. So doors for Astro Empowerment are open until 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, 7/9. So if you are feeling called, led, or guided to join us for a 6-month immersion into learning all things astrology, all of the information is already pre-recorded, and we do have once a month live calls where you get to ask me anything. We can share charts. It's my favorite thing in the world to be able to hang out with you guys and talk about all things astrology on a really high level. Like, this was really kind of very much brushing the surface here. So all of that is available to you. You have 2 weeks in between each module in order to digest all of the information. You can also download all of the audio tracks for all of the teaching videos, so that you can have those and listen to them wherever you are, whenever you are. To me, astrology, a lot of people get kind of hung up on it because it feels kind of mental and trying to like memorize different things. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, as above, so below, that we don't, although the planets and asteroids are, and the constellations of all of the signs are in the sky, they're also in our bodies. And so really, I feel like what I'm teaching is like embodied astrology. And Norin is one of our alumni. She said rewatching Astro Empowerment modules feels nourishing too. Awesome. So all of, whenever you're working with any of the water signs in your own chart, or you're working with the moon, you're working with Pluto, you're working with Neptune, you're working with water. And so you're working with like the element of water inside your own body, and that's your blood, that's your plasma. You know, our bodies are 80% water, and so it's really like, and our bones are representative of the earth element. The air that we breathe is the representative of the air element, and the electrical impulses. You know, our heart is a giant electromagnet. It's producing electricity. It has a magnetic field, and so that's the fire. That's the fire element. And so really, it's like we have all of these elemental teachers within us, and that are connected to all of the signs, and that are connected to all of the planets. And so we really have these teachers within us as guides and allies, but they cannot teach us unless we invite them. And I'm also known for saying too that it's like when you look at the birth chart, these are all of the planets and all of the asteroids that are in a particular birth chart. And all of this on the inside is all of the different sacred geometric angles that are happening, all of the oppositions and squares and trines and sextiles. And so in the beginning, this was you in the very center. And when you took your first breath, you like sprayed all of yourself through all of these different planetary reflections all over the chart. And so our job in this lifetime is to reach up to the heavens, you know, from this center point, to reach up to the heavens, but also to reach down into the waters, to reach down into the earth, to expand out into the horizons of this world that we inhabit, and to reintegrate, to reclaim all of those pieces and parts of ourselves that we've scattered all over our chart. And so it really is, to me, astrology is this great sense of homecoming. It's this great practice of integration, and it's really this great practice of self-awareness and very, very deep healing. And because when we know ourselves better, when we understand how we work, and astrology is not the only lens. You can learn about yourself through human design. You can learn about yourself through any of the personality tests. You can learn about yourself through depth psychology. You can learn about yourself through the relationships. You can learn about yourself through conscious communication. There's so many different ways in which we can learn about ourselves, but the more that we learn about ourselves and the more that we learn about how human beings work, the more how they express themselves, how they have how we have different ways of processing things. Exactly everything that we talked about through all the moon signs. When we understand each other better, we can understand how we can support one another, and we feel so much more compassion. When you see, for example, a Leo moon creating all of this drama, it's like you just want to be seen. Like that's it. And so I'm not taking it personally. I don't feel upset. I just really recognize that, that your playful child wants to be the center of attention, and that's okay. Like, we can do that. So I hope that all of that was helpful. Let me see. You guys can ask me questions if you have any questions. Oh yeah, there was one other question, because I asked, what do you guys want to talk about in the Insta stories today? There was one other question. Someone asked me about the house system and why I use the house system that I use. So I use the house system called Placidus. There are many other different house systems, and there's whole house system. There's equal house system. There's all different kinds of house systems. So for me, I use the Placidus house system because that is I teach a lot of people who are super beginner in astrology. I really feel like that's a super important place to be. My goal in sharing about astrology is to make it super relatable and to make it super embodied, so that it's something that my goal with my students, whether you're learning astrology through Astro Empowerment or you're learning astrology through the Lemurian school, because we teach astrology in there as well, in Remembering Lemuria and Rising Lemuria, or if you have a session with me, my intention is to teach you how to be able to read your chart so that you don't have to come back to me putting myself out of a job in a good way. And my intention is to really teach how to recognize different planets and different archetypal energies of the signs, recognize when they're in their shadow and when they're in their illumination, and what you can do to switch something from a shadow to an illumination. How you can collaborate with those planets. So for example, if you're having a Saturn transit and it's super intense, it feels heavy, you feel depressed, you feel like everything is constricting you, you're having troubles with authority figures, you feel like you can't manage your time, that is Saturn asking for your attention. He wants you to collaborate with him. And so even just learning about Saturn, or wearing a watch, or becoming better with your time management, or really taking back your own authority in your own life and not projecting it onto other people. A lot of that is how to really appease Saturn. So there's different ways that you can work with all of the different planets. But so for the house system that I use the Placidus house system because that is the house system that most astrologers use, and that most astrology software is defaulted to, and most astrology websites use. It's kind of in my experience, it's the most common, as far as house systems go, it's the most common astrological language that's spoken. And so I do know that there are other astrological house systems that are more beneficial for different situations. And it's fun to look at. It's definitely like, I like to put my chart into whole houses to see and feel how that feels. But for the most part, I use the Placidus house system. So it's a little in-depth look at the deeper details. So Astro Empowerment is open. If you are feeling called to dive deeper and deeper into the stars, then I invite you to join us. Edgar Casey is in the same vein. Edgar Casey is amazing. I need to look more into his astrological work. That's been coming up a lot. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go have some dinner. I hope that you have an amazing day or evening wherever you are in the world. If you're feeling called to sign up to join us for Astro Empowerment, don't delay. The doors are closing tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It would be such an honor to swim in the stars with you. And also, if you haven't checked out the things that I talked about in my Insta stories today, there were some super gems that came through, insights that were super powerful. So go check out that. All right, you guys, love you so much. Have an amazing evening or day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Thank you, Lucid Light. Thank you, Lizzie.